Your radio on air online, Lake 96.1, Saturday at the 70's, one of the more familiar tracks from Bad Boy's first United Artists album, the band that made Milwaukee famous, Thinking of You. We're talking with Steve Grimm, one of the original members of Bad Boy, and we thank him for joining us during our Homemade Hitmakers Month. I hear you're working in the Milwaukee schools right now?
I had worked there for about 11 years.
Okay.
And they eliminated the band and orchestra job that I had.
Oh, no.
And then I went into a grade school and acted like Mr. Rogers for about a year. And I just took early retirement pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And, it was a tough job. It really was a tough job.
Right.
But I thought I could change the world, and then I realized I was a little bit out of my element. It takes a certain person to be a teacher, and the patience of Job, shall we say.
I can understand that, yes.
And I always wanted to get things done, and I was bucking the system. But we did have a marching band in middle school. It was kind of cool. We did some things like I'd written a play, a couple of plays actually, and we did Wizard of Oz. We did some innovative things.
Mm-hmm.
In Walker Middle School, and I was quite proud of that part of it. But it's just, it's an all-encompassing thing like I had done with music, and I kept up music throughout.
Right.
Playing weekends, but I'm pretty much back to not full-time, but, I do play every weekend someplace, some dive, some bar, wherever it may be, and I still do really love it, but it's getting harder the older I get. It's a tough racket. It's a young man's game, but I kept a name with John, and we got a host of different drummers and guitar players, and eventually Zeno took over most of the vocals, and Hector Ramos went on to do some. He was one of the drummers. We've had a cavalcade of stars who've done, some significant work.
Mm-hmm.
And I've continued to write, put out, I think, 4 solo CDs myself. Mm-hmm. And they've met to varying degrees of critical acclaim. Certainly not a lot of money acclaim, but that's what I have always dreamed of doing is original music. In fact, today I've been writing. It's my therapy. Mm-hmm. Some people put together crossword puzzles. I work on songs and lyrics, and I teach songwriting at the conservatory and at Uncle Bob's where I work. So it's just something I've grown up liking to do, putting words together and chords together. And but Bad Boys had, a pretty good run, and, we'll play some significant dates in the summertime, like Summerfest and a few other festivals.
Right.
But that's really about it. Every weekend I'm out pounding the gutters and the roads with a couple of different outfits that I play in. I play in a cover band called the Blues Brothers, which is an R&B cop of the Blues Brothers.
Oh, sure.
I grew up to that music, and I love playing that music. And then I go out and play another kind of bluesy thing called the Grimm Brothers, and then we have a copy band. And then most of the other times I'll go out and play solo duo, doing originals and my newer stuff that I've been continue to write.
What do you want people to remember Bad Boy as? Because you've had a fan base for a mighty long time. What do you want people to remember, say, for example, once, if everything blew up, how would you want people to remember Bad Boy?
Well, most of our fan base are like grandma and grandpas now, like myself.
And most of my friends, too.
And that's a cool thing, because, when we do play Summerfest and some of the big gigs, they still come out and support the band, and we love that. I guess I really haven't thought about it, but, it gets back to the songs that stand the test of time, and I'm not so sure that they were the greatest songs, because I think there were some other good songs, maybe not great. But heartfelt, good time, craftsmanship, I guess, is really what it's supposed to all be about. And that magic we were talking about, there was a certain thing to that era that we had caught. We caught a part of that shooting star. We didn't get it all, but we caught a little part of that. And we were riding the crest of a wave for a few years, and it's what everybody wants to do. Everybody would love to be a rock star. Wouldn't you be happy to be like me? I think the song goes. But I'm not a great musician. I'm not a great vocalist, but it's all about the timing, and we were there at the right time. So it was a wistful dream that we were lucky to ride upon, and anyone who put some effort into it I guess that's what you'd leave them with, is that they could do it too. Particularly the kids, you know, because I think it's harder than ever because there's so many bands out there that last for, a year or two, and that's it. And I guess that would be the number one thing, is tenacity.
What I ended up mentioning about this series we were going to have in regards to homemade hit makers, I did get a call from a guy from Delavan that said, you better have Bad Boy as a part of this. So you guys are remembered.
Well, you know, it always amazes me. Every couple of weeks, somebody contacts me to try to land an old LP, or we've kind of reproduced some of the stuff on CD, and it may be from China or California or wherever. It's kind of amazing. So, yeah, we did make a little bit of a mark. It was really a lot of fun. Yeah,
and you're mentioned on the Internet now and again at a number of different sites in regards to those albums you put out, especially the ones on United Artists that got the wider distribution.
Yeah, I mean, I wish we would have made some money off of them, but no. Back in the day, it was a wonderful time to be a musician, actually, because they gave us carte blanche, and we traveled all over the United States, and they just said, "Go do what you got to do to break it." And then shortly thereafter, the second album, the United Artists folded, and that was the real shame of it. But you know, it was a good ride for about 4 or 5 years.
Well, Steve Grimm, thank you. We appreciate it.
Well, it's been a pleasure.
And if you want to find out more about what's happening with Bad Boy, they do have a website. Go there, find out about the bookings that they have during the course of the summer. They do get together once in a while. And as Steve mentioned, he pops up in various other forms around the Milwaukee area, so be looking out for that.